Okay, nearly there. I've got my 16 stitches. I think I'm going to take this off now. I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to knit 12 stitches, so that's going to be those 4 and those 4 and those 4. So I'm going to be here after I've knitted 12 stitches. That's 8. 4 to go. Oops. Fiddly now because there's not so many stitches on. There we go. So I'm stopping there. So I'm stopping. You can see at the side of the foot. So that's my little sock. So that's the top of the foot. And we need to. We're going to join these together now with the magic of Kitchener stitch. So on the instructions I've written, rearrange your stitches so that the first 4 and the last 4 of the round are on one needle with the remaining 8 on another needle. So I've already got the first 4 and the last 4 of the round on that needle. So I want these 8 to just be on one needle. So I'm going to put these 4 here onto this needle. There we go. So now I've got 8 here and 8 here. I've got my yarn here. And I've given you the instructions for Kitchener stitch, but I am going to do you a demonstration. And you will need a tapestry needle, a needle with a big eye. And you need to cut the yarn. So it's usually recommended that you cut the yarn to 4 times the width of what you've got to join up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I usually do a bit more. So I've put 10 inches. That's probably about 10 inches. Cut that yarn and thread the tapestry needle. Okay. Right. So this is a marvellous thing that we're going to do now. So you need to hold the 2 needles together with the one that's got the yarn attached at the back. So push the needles so the stitches are at the end. Always work with your yarn underneath the needles like that. And I'm just going to talk you through the steps. So first of all, we're going to work with the tapestry needle into this needle, the first stitch on the front needle, and we're going to go into it purlwise. So we're just going to put the needle in there, purlwise, put it through. And then you're going to do the back one, but you're going to do the back one knitwise. So I'm going into that knitwise and I'm pulling it through, keeping my yarn under my needles. And that's like the setup done. Now we're going to step 1 proper. So the needle goes knitwise into the front needle. So knitwise into that one, and that stitch comes off there, and then we're going to go purlwise into that one that's still on the needle, like that, and then we're going to work on the back needle. So the first stitch on the back needle, go purlwise into it, and then take that stitch off, and then looking at the next stitch on the back needle, we need to go knitwise into it. Oh, I've gone into the one underneath. Need to go knitwise into that, like that. Leave that on, and then we return to the front needle. So we start off by going knitwise into the first stitch and taking that off the needle, and then going purlwise into the what is now the first stitch and leaving that on the needle. Go to the back, go purlwise into the first stitch, take it off the needle, pull it tight if you need to, but not too tight, and then go knitwise into what is now the first stitch and leave that on the needle, and then return. I need to pull that tight. So we're closing up this this gap here. Return to the front needle now. So go knitwise into the first stitch, take it off the needle, and go purlwise into that new first stitch. Go to the back needle, go purlwise into the first stitch, take it off the needle, and go knitwise into the new first stitch. Back to the front needle, knit, take it off, purl, back to the back needle, purl, oops, take it off, knit. Okay, so carry on doing that, knitwise into there. So we're nearly done now. So I'm going to go knitwise into that stitch there and take that off, and I'm going to go purlwise into that stitch. I've got one left on the front now. Purlwise into the first stitch at the back, oops, take it off, knitwise into that stitch, and then I just need to go knitwise into that stitch at the front, take it off the needle, purlwise into that stitch at the back, take it off the needle, and you can see now we've joined up the toe. There's no ridge. All you get is like a little bit of a flap there, which I find if you, I've got my thumb inside. If you just thread it in there, pull it through, that just sits down. That's the toe finished. So if we look on the inside, there's no seam, there's no ridge. So all I've got to do now is I've got an end here and an end here, and they need sewing in. And then my sock's finished. There it is inside out. There it is the right way around. So all I need to do now is sew my ends in and my sock's done.